Please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and welcome to our regular scheduled meeting for the Attleboro School Committee for Monday, November 4th. This is your notice that this meeting is being electronically recorded. The first item on the agenda tonight is a Student Advisory Council update, and for that, I will turn it over to Representative Lennox.
All right, so for the last 2 weeks, we have been having a lot going on with our CTE programs, as you guys can tell. We've started up with Skills USA, which is one of our clubs, and we do compete at the state and district level for those. We're starting to get everyone registered, and that's been our main focus. We also have our officer shops coming up for multiple different clubs for the National Honor Society, the Student Council, Skills USA, and many others. And we are currently looking at getting word out there and spreading more club organizations.
Awesome. Excellent. Any questions from the committee? Great. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is a spotlight presentation regarding Attleboro High School CTE programs, and for that I'll turn it over to the superintendent.
Thank you, Chairman. At this time, I'll turn it right over to Ms. Regan.
Thank you. So tonight is our first spotlight presentation for this year, and just wanted to take a moment to share the purpose of why we do these presentations at the start of our meetings. I feel like it has several reasons, but first of all, it's to really highlight the successes of our students and our staff and all of our schools. It's to engage the community in our work so that they know what we're doing every single day with our students and our staff, but then also to create a sense of belonging. So the students feel like they belong and they're sharing all of the great work that they do, and showing that sense of pride that we have being a member of the Attleboro Public Schools and continuing that legacy on. So what we'd like to share tonight, we have Attleboro High School with us, and we'll be having a presentation from career and technical education students and staff. And to kick us off, I'd like to welcome Principal Campbell.
Thank you, everyone. It's very exciting when we have an opportunity like this. Being a comprehensive high school, one of the greatest things is being able to see all the different aspects and opportunities for our students. And we are unique. We are unlike other high schools that may not have some of the CTE opportunities that we have. So I find it, I take a lot of pride in being able to showcase the collaboration of all different aspects of our school. So tonight we will be talking about our career and technical education. So Mr. Gay, our Associate Principal and CTE Director, will be starting us off.
Thank you. After that, I should probably just stop now.
No.
I want to thank the committee for their time this evening. As you can see, we have a number of students behind us who are excited to be a part of what we do here at the high school. Like Principal Campbell said, we are different than the other schools, and I think as I go through my presentation tonight, that'll be reflected. I was looking through my notes, and it has been almost 3 years to the day that I last gave a CT Spotlight presentation. A lot of things have changed since then. We were in the old building. I believe I was wearing a mask. And we, at that time, I think had about maybe 11 programs at the time. So let's dig in. So with the work being done in this new building, getting it up and running, I can say to you and report to this committee that all of our CT programs are now Chapter 74 certified. Just about 4.5 years ago, we had 10 programs that were Chapter 74. There was one non-Chapter 74, and in that time, we added 8 programs and certified all 9 of them. So it's been quite a lot of work. I'm glad that we've gotten this done now because the state just changed the whole way that they're certifying Chapter 74 programs. So we beat that. We're good. So that would have been an immense amount of work. And, you know, I'm kind of a history buff when it comes to career and technical education in the Commonwealth. And when you look at the growth that I'm going to show you in a few minutes relative to our enrollment and our number of programs we offer, that type of growth has not been experienced in any one district since the regional vocational school districts were formed back in the late 1960s. So I can report to you that Attleboro is doing it right. So, as we added programs, you can see that our capturing of grade 9 students after they participate in our exploratory program. Our exploratory program is having every student, almost 500 of them, sometimes over 500, depending on our enrollment. They transition through every career and technical education program for about a week, and they spend that time getting a really good overview of what their program and what a life or a career in that program is like. And it's the most valuable and free career advice students can receive. They find things they really like, which is great, but more importantly, they also find things that they really do not like, which is even more important. So again, it's the best free career advice, and it's been very successful. Historically, here at the high school, students would do exploratory for the first 2 trimesters, and then we started a couple of years ago actually placing them in their programs 3rd trimester, because usually they would wait until their sophomore year to take their program. So now they are full-year freshmen and full-year sophomore, junior, and senior. So we are truly reflective of a vocational high school. So as you can see that even back in 2017, we had 53% of our students taking a CT program, and for a comprehensive high school where vocational education is a choice, that is already far and above our colleagues in the other comprehensive schools. That's a very high number that most people would strive to this day. And we were already doing it with a very few number of programs. And as you can see, as we've added programs out over the years, the last 2 years in particular, we're capturing 95% of the students. 95% of grade 9 students are opting into our vocational programs. So that's a huge accomplishment. And when you look at, when I report those numbers to the Department of Ed, they say, how many? Are you sure about that? Yes, we are sure. It's in the SIMS data. You can look at it too. So as you can see, we're hovering around 95% utilization, and that's freshman year, 3rd trimester, and the holdovers to sophomore year, we're at about 95% of them staying in. So it's a testament to the students, their diligence and seriousness, but also the type of programs that we're offering here at the high school.
Mr. Gay, I'm sorry, just for clarification, the years that you have listed are academic years, so 2024 is actually last year's enrollment information. Yes. Okay, just wanted to confirm. Thank you.
Very good. So that last slide was grade 9, but when you look at our enrollment for levels 1, 2s, and 3s, which we call sophomores, juniors, and seniors, you can again see that starting in 2017, it was around 600 students, which again is a very respectable number for a comprehensive high school where career and technical education is a choice. And as you can see now, that as of 2024, that's October of this year, 2024.
Oh, okay.
Just because Ms. Regan made sure I had the right numbers in. So she's a stickler. So we have 1,249 students enrolled in sophomore through senior year, and when you add the freshmen, we're at 1,716 total Chapter 74 enrollment. Now, that's a significant number because if you've been around Attleboro for a while, you know that the overall entire population of the high school for many years hovered around 1,750. So we right now have the number of students in our programs that equates to what we used to have here at the high school as a total enrollment. So I can report to you, as I did last week at our program advisory committee, you are right now sitting in one of the largest vocational schools in the Commonwealth, both in the number of programs and based off student enrollment. It's been quite a growth spurt in the last few years. The programs are competitive. When you have a new building, it changes student culture, it also changes staff culture. And of course, when you walk through these programs, you see the kind of equipment and facilities that they have. Who wouldn't want to be a part of it? Everybody that tours this building says they want to do high school over again. Me, not so much. I peaked after high school, so I'm good with that. But what's nice is that these programs are competitive. When it comes time to make a choice, 3rd trimester of freshman year, students know that to get in, they have to meet certain criteria, grades, attendance and discipline and things like that. It's merit-based. So the students know that coming in. They are coming to school. They are behaving better because they know that it has a direct impact on them getting their first choice or not. So 90% of our programs do have a wait list once we do our placements. And 90% of our students do indeed get their first choice. Two numbers I'm very proud of, and something that is truly to be celebrated as we go through time here. So right now, our total population at the high school is 2028. It's a big number. I wasn't expecting that. But we're well over 2,000 students as a total enrollment. And out of there, we have 1,716 CTE enrollment. So right now, our utilization is 84%. Now, I like numbers that are beneficial to me. If we were still at a total enrollment of 1,750, we'd be at 98% utilization for CT programs. But these kids keep coming in, so we have to accommodate that. And one of the things that's very important to note is that when a student does arrive on our doorstep as a sophomore or junior or senior, they may not be able to opt into a CT program because either they've missed too much curriculum or for whatever the fact, or there's no room. So, because those programs basically are full. So it's unfortunate, but that's the part of, coming into a school after freshman year. So they do tend to miss out. So every year, we gauge the rigor and relevance of our programs. And some of the ways we do that is we have students earn third-party credentials, industry-recognized credentials. In the last year alone, 686 students earned OSHA certifications. Based on their trade, it could be manufacturing, construction, or general industry. So they've earned those. 112 hot work certifications, which that's a safety certification, anything to do with a spark or a flame. Many of our students are first aid and CPR certified, AED, choking, babysitting, all that. It's good to know that they're by my office because there's an AED by my office, so I feel really safe about that, really good about that. But those are safety credentials. And the other thing that we do too is we have credentials that show competence in their trade area because, if we develop our own assessments, our students are very well prepared. But we go beyond that. What we want is third-party credentials. So we use Microsoft Office Suite, Adobe Suite, SolidWorks, Photoshop, third-party outside people that credential us on EKG and phlebotomy, and the students are earning those credentials as well. And we report those to the state every October 1st, early spring, and then the last day of school. When the students get all those credentials, it shows that they're work-ready, but also when they go and they submit their college applications, they actually get some coursework waived because of the credentials they walk in with. So it's a huge, and that's done all during the school day. So after a year and a half or so, the Eagle has landed. Our new freight farm is out back, and it took, like I said, a lot. It was a lot. You get this freight farm because we don't have a greenhouse anymore, and you want to add this part of the program for environmental science. I learned a lot. I thought I learned a lot going through this project, the construction project. This was a completely new experience, and I can safely say to you that one freight farm is enough. We're not going to do any more. But it is here. It's being tested out next week. And then students from environmental science will start growing items in there relatively soon. And the wonderful thing about that hydroponic farm, it will duplicate or grow as much as an acre of land. So we have big plans for that. They're going to be growing things for culinary. They're going to be growing flowers for sale for certain events. They're also going to be growing items to participate in the farmers market. And our eventual goal also is to grow some organic food and give to the local kitchens in the city. So to give back a little bit because, the community gave us this building. It's the right thing to do to give back. So, and the students are driving that bus, and it's kind of hard to stop it when students are driving the bus. You just go along for the ride. You don't try to stop it. We've been very fortunate in the last few years with competitive grants. Our latest one, the Career and Technical Initiative Grant, I'll speak about that a little later. That was a huge grant, $807,000. And then the newest one below that is the CT Partnership Grant. That allowed us to buy an anatomage table, which is basically a digital cadaver table for medical assisting. It's the creepiest thing you've ever seen. But you can choose from 5 different cadavers. You can cut them open. You can ultrasound. You can do anything you want with this. You would do with a regular cadaver. And the graphics on it are pretty intense, and it will be showed for Blue Pride Night later in the week. So we're going to have that open. The other part of it is a Z-Space computer lab. It's an augmented reality computer lab. You don't need glasses to use this computer, and it's based for the medical field, but it has a bunch of other applications in it. You can actually dissect the body and pull the bodies off of the screen. So it's like jumping out at you. If you're not prepared for it, it is a little creepy, but that'll also be set up for the public to see Blue Pride Night. But it's a fascinating thing because it allows students to work at their own pace on their own tutorials, and the amount of information that's in these programs and the technology is just incredible, and the students truly benefit from that. It's not just a cool gizmo, it has a legitimate educational value. And the nice thing about it is that a lot of the colleges that these students are going on to have the same equipment. So they're going to have a leg up when it comes time to do that kind of coursework. So now, I'm done talking for a little bit. So I think the best thing to do is to turn this over a little bit. So I would like to now introduce, as part of the spotlight, we're going to highlight 2 newer programs, cosmetology and dental assisting. And first, I would like to call up Ms. Knight from cosmetology.
Hi everybody, my name is Ashley Knight. I'm one of the cosmetology instructors here at Attleboro High School. I've had the pleasure of partaking in opening the cosmetology program for the last 2 years. I'm very passionate about the cosmetology industry, and it's a dream come true to be able to teach the new inspiring Massachusetts cosmetologists. This program is changing so many lives. These kids get to not only walk across the stage with their high school diploma, but also a license that's going to open so many doors for their future. I can proudly say that there is not a day that goes by that our cosmetology students are not beaming, walking down the hall, excited and ready to see what we're doing for the day. This program is only 2 years old, but it's growing rapidly. We have an extensive wait list, and I think that speaks volumes about what kind of magic we're creating in our classrooms. There is something special here at Attleboro High School. Can't quite put my finger on it, but walking through those doors and seeing these students eager and ready to learn every day is truly my favorite part of the day. With us today, there's 2 students here to share their point of view as a cosmetology student. And first up, we have Ellie Gendrolis. Thank you, guys.
Hi, my name is Ellie Gendrolis, and I'm a junior in the cosmetology program at Attleboro High School. I will be a part of the first ever cosmetology graduating class. Cosmetology is something I've wanted to do my whole life, and having the opportunity to get my license while in high school gives me a huge advantage to better my future. I want to thank you all for the hard work you put into getting our program open and certified. Up next, we have Gianni.
Hi, my name is Gianni. I'm a sophomore in the cosmetology CTE. Being in cosmetology has given me a head start on my career, which most people don't have. After high school, I plan on going for my associate's degree in college for business. And being in cosmetology gives me a way to pay for college while doing something that I love to do. I want to say thank you to everybody who's been involved in getting our program started, and I would now like to introduce Mrs. Santos, who is our dental assisting instructor.
Hi everyone, I'm Amy Santos, and I'm the dental assisting instructor here at Attleboro High School. Dental assisting program has been running since September 2022 and is now fully running with all 3 levels of dental assisting students. So this year will be the first year that we graduate seniors out of the program, which is so exciting. In the program, we go over all facets of dental assisting, from infection control, radiation health and safety, and general chairside procedures. They leave the program with OSHA certification, CPR and first aid certification, HIPAA compliance, and have the option to sit for 2 national boards, one in infection control and one in radiation health and safety. And then when they turn 18, they can register with the state of Massachusetts as a registered dental assistant once they take an ethics exam and pass that. The program focuses on working in collaboration with the community within our school as well as outside of our school, In our school, we run mock dental clinics with the alternative learning programs within the school, and then the preschool also. And then we go out into the broader community and do volunteer work with the Mission of Mercy in Providence and Team Smile in Foxborough. The hands-on practical aspect of dental assisting is really important to build the confidence and development of these students' skills. I have here tonight a few students with me, and I'm just going to have Elise come on up and talk about her experience.
Hello, my name is Elise Romanicki. I'm a sophomore in the dental assisting program. Having a program like this is truly incredible and will help prepare students in such amazing ways. When the time came around last February to choose our CTEs, I placed dental assisting as my top choice without hesitation. Being in the dental field in dental assisting class helps with more than just getting ahead. It also helps with interpersonal skills. I chose the CTE because I wanted to get ahead and be trained to work in the real world. We have already been given so many opportunities, like presenting basic dental needs to the alternative learners, performing cleanings on each other, creating retainers, placing fluoride, and having guest speakers come in to talk about their experiences. Ms. Santos always encourages us to do our best, and we will be the best possible workers we can be when we leave to work in real offices. I plan to use my experience here to help me get into a good dental school and eventually go on to work in pediatric dentistry. I aspire to help kids be excited to go to the dentist and encourage them to create healthy dental habits. And with this program and a teacher who is willing to help us go above and beyond, that will be easily achievable. Next is Aubrey Sisto.
Hi, I'm excited to share with you one of the great opportunities that Attleboro High School offers that I get to experience. I'm a senior in the CTE Dental Assisting program. Here at Dental Assisting, we practice strengthening and learning skills to have a successful career after high school. When you walk into our class, it feels like you are in a real dental office. Our learning is so diverse, from visual learning to hands-on and even listening. We spend majority of our time, whether it's working on our head models, other classmates, or even students from the 12+ program. We've had the opportunity to get our first aid certification, prove competencies, complete OSHA and HIPAA. Every January, we visit Yankee Dental Congress that allows us to meet doctors all over the state, and we get to see new equipment coming out. Me and my classmates are excited and engaged in learning. In January, we have an opportunity to do co-op and work at offices around Attleboro. Doctors from offices around the area will often visit our class and give us a presentation that will lead on to a hands-on activity. With my experience of being in the program, it has taught me skills that have made me confident to hand in my resume to the Attleboro Pediatric Office and work there after school. Ms. Santos does an extremely good job preparing us for the future. Thank you.
So when I approached these two programs about presenting tonight, it was without question. I mean, I could have had all 19 come in, but we'd be here till tomorrow, and I don't think anybody would like that too much. But when I put the call out for some presenters, and I also said to the rest of the students, it would be nice if you came and supported your programs and your classmates who are going to speak tonight. And as you can see, that this is what you see behind me is indicative of the character and the caliber of the students here at the high school, and I just want to say thank you to all of them. So, one more slide. So, when Ms. Montagano and I were going through all the work of setting up these new programs, which were many of them were based off of student interest, student demand. Last year, when we did our enrollment and our placements for grade 9 students, we had an anomaly. The enrollment, there was no skyrocketing wait list for any one program. It kind of leveled, which was great, because that means more students got the program they wanted, and there was very few students who were disappointed by the fact that they're 25th on the wait list. So that didn't happen last year. It kind of leveled, which was great. So talking to Ann, we got kind of bored opening up all these new programs, and why should we? Because, we have what we need. So we said, instead of opening up another program, let's just open up another school. So that's what we did. So I can present to you tonight the Attleboro Technical Institute, which has been running here since September. It's an evening program for adults. It runs 4 nights a week. It is fully grant funded. The programs that we're working with Mass Hire Bristol is automotive technology, welding, HVAC, and plumbing. A lot of other trade schools in the state are running these programs, and they're actually having difficulty getting people to apply. I can report to you that for the fall semester, we had classes of 12 in 4 areas. That's 48 students. We had 48 slots in this fall. We had over 220 applicants. So the interest is there. So we're running our cohort right now, and we have another cohort ready to go in January. We got a number of employers to sign letters of support to have interest in maybe offering these people positions or at least interviews. We needed a minimum of 12 partners in the area. I think we have like 38 letters of support from area businesses and employers. So it's a huge, it shows you how dire the need is for adult employees out there. So this grant, it's not just trade skills, it's also 1 day a week, which happens to be today, Monday. They're learning employability skills, they're earning their OSHA certification, they're learning how to write a resume, a cover letter, how to use a computer, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they're actually in their trade areas for the rest of the 20 hours per week to learn their skills. Along with the training that they get and the setup with an interview, they also get tooling. Each participant, upon completion, gets about $2,500 to $3,000 worth of tooling. So an automotive technician student from here is going to walk out with a rolling chest of tools. They're work ready, and that's our goal. It's to get these people ready to work who want a new career. You have to be unemployed or underemployed, which in the area around here means making less than $50,000 a year. So we had a lot of interest. We still have a lot of interest. People are still applying today. So the hope is that this grant runs for 2 semesters. The hope is that we're going to run it again in the fall. These 4 programs as well with some expansion programs, which will then lead into other things like Attleboro at night and things like that. But before I get ahead of myself, we do have somebody from the evening program. Maya Ferreira, are you here? Come on up, please. Maya is one of our adult learners from the Attleboro Technical Institute in its inaugural year, and she's from the welding program.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. First of all, thank you for letting me speak here tonight. Thank you to Mr. Gay and Ms. Montagano for inviting me. My name's Maya Ferreira, and I've had the thought of pursuing a career in welding ever since I learned it in UMass Dartmouth. So when I heard about this program that provided free education and free equipment, I jumped at the opportunity. My technical knowledge and skill has grown substantially in the past 2 months without any financial burden. And our welding group truly feels like a family because everyone wants to help one another, is passionate and engaged about learning the trade, and wants to spend as much time as possible in the shop. I'm incredibly grateful to have been chosen for this experience, and it has been nothing but a true delight to be a part of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maya. So with that, oops, sorry, I had a slide for her. My apologies. Sorry, Maya.
Go back and do it again.
Yes. So that's kind of like where we're at, but also we continue, we never sit still, we never rest, we're always moving forward. Some of our areas of focus moving forward, cooperative education, we have a full-time coordinator. She was on a leave, she's back now, and just in the last couple of weeks, we have like 60 people out working in the community on co-op, and I sign new applications every day. So my estimation, or my guesstimate, is that probably by March we'll have 120 to 150 students participating in the work-study program. That's a paid internship. That's not including the unpaid clinical work that the medical students are doing or the early education and care students are doing. So we have that. I just spoke about the clinical rotations. Curriculum frameworks. Half of our programs have new frameworks that were updated from DESE in 2022, and the other ones we're still working under the 2014 okay, frameworks. Ouch. Those are all up for renew this year, so we're going to be working on updating our curriculum and unit plans to match those new standards. Obviously, there's going to be some work there. The other part is we're going to be looking at performance assessments, because a lot of the work we do is hands-on. So, you know, students in cosmetology are doing different types of projects and activities than dental, but we should have some similar performance expectations throughout the whole department. So we're going to be working on that just to have everybody on the same page as much as possible. Student organizations, you spoke about, we're growing in the numbers of students involved, but also the number of clubs involved. We have an environmental club. We have a graphic communications club that's driven by teachers, and students are showing up 2-3 times a week because they want to do more than what the regular school day offers. Sustainability Commission, that's an exciting part. One of the things we're working on with environmental science is start a recycling program here and composting. Obviously, we're going to need it for the environmental system, the environmental science program, but also we want to make sure that we can, if we have items that we're composting, if people need compost, they can come and get it. And, it won't be a big pile, I promise. Principal can't. We'll keep it clean and neat and enclosed. Also, we are looking at expanding our evening offerings either through the Attleboro Technical Institute, which is grant funded, or through tuition-based programs of interest, hobby, or certification for the adults. It's something that's been hard to do the last couple of years. The construction dust has now settled, and as you can see, we've hit the ground running as far as the daytime programming, but also the evening programming. We've got a really good start on that, I think. And having that grant-funded program has allowed us to figure out our systems and procedures, because running evening programs in an old building, a little different in this building. We're very concerned about security and safety and all that. So we've learned a lot, and we're using that information to move forward. And that's the presentation.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Gay. Thank you to the educators and students that spoke. My mind is racing with comments and questions, so I am going to ask the committee for theirs, but 2 things before I do. First, I want to warn the students you may get questions, so please don't be uncomfortable coming back up to answer any questions you hear. But also, I think this is a fantastic opportunity to plug the hours of the marketplace, because a lot of these programs are available to the public. So I don't know if you have those readily available off the top of your head.
They will be posted because they're a little different, and I have some exciting breaking news. We have a school store in the cafeteria for students and staff. It's hard for the public to get in, obviously for security. We are very soon going to be opening up a second Blue Hanger location in the marketplace. So people who want to buy Attleboro swag, the sweatshirts, the hoodies, the sweatpants, and all that other stuff, they will have access to that. So that's going to be up and running. I just signed the purchase order. Hopefully, Mr. Furtado will send it through for the stock, but that'll be up and running. The bistro is usually Wednesday through Friday, usually 10:30 to about 1:20. But cosmetology will also be opening very soon. They're opening on Wednesday. I don't go down there much. But they will be opening very soon, and they already have a ton of appointments made, so their hours are more specific, but we do post things on the, all over the Facebook, all over the social media. In the web, yes.
So any questions or comments from the committee? Mr. Larson?
Sure. First, thank you for the presentation. It was great to see it. Got a little bit of a preview at the event about a week or so ago. I want to thank all the people who presented. You guys did a fantastic job. We're not, I know we're interpreted as being a pretty scary group, but we're actually a pretty easy group to make a presentation to. But you guys did a fantastic job, so thank you very much. This is such a great program that Attleboro has, and it's been around for a long time, and to watch it grow and to see the utilization is just amazing. So I just wanted to thank everybody involved, and you guys are doing a fantastic job with it, so really appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Larson. Mr. Frappier?
Yes, awesome things are all going on here, but I do have a question. You mentioned we just got recertified under the old criteria, or certified under the old criteria. Is there a timeline for when we have to get recertified on the new criteria, and how long will that be?
Once a program is Chapter 74 certified, one and done.
Great.
We do go through the occasional CPR, Coordinated Program Review. There's a reason why they call it a CPR, because you're going to need CPR after the state comes in and audits you. But that's every 6 years or so. But with our programming, our teaching staff, our equipment and facilities, it'll be easy. It won't be a big lift.
Thank you.
We're doing what we need to do.
Any other questions? Mr. Domenici?
Yeah, first off, I echo my colleagues and, job well done with the presentation. CTE is always one one of my favorite spotlights because it's just grown exponentially every year, and that's a credit to the administration. $2.2 million worth of grants over 5 years is, with our budget, a lifesaver because it gives us advantages in our programs to have the newest technology to really set you all on proper footing. And I'm just overwhelmed at the support tonight, so thank you all for taking the time to come and support your classmates up here. That means a lot, and that shows us just how dedicated you are to being where you are. Makes everything worth it. And just a quick anecdote, and I know that Principal Campbell is aware of this, but a couple of months ago, I happened to be on my commute home from Boston, and I just happened to talk to a young man who actually went through the welding program here, class of 2016, and he basically wanted to reach out, connect with the school, which I believe he did, because basically what he said is, he's making 6 figures now as a local pipe fitter, doing work up in the seaport in Boston, and his whole life changed as a result of having this opportunity to come through the CTE programs. So I really hope to see more success stories like that from people who have come through the program. It'd be great to someday have somebody come in and come to the committee and say, hey, yeah, 5 years ago I was here, and this is where I am now. Because I know that you track that information. That's part of what we need to do in order to keep programs up and running. So best of luck to all of you. I look forward to seeing the opening of cosmetology, and I look forward to seeing many or all of you, hopefully, on Thursday night for the Blue Pride event. So, job well done.
So I have a question for you, Mr. Gay. As a medical assisting student, so as you know, Skills USA has had a large involvement in the school, and we've been consistently growing. How would you say our school's performance in both Skills USA and our CTEs as a whole compares to other schools? It's okay if you don't have that on hand.
Why no? I love data that benefits me. So there's because we're a comprehensive school and we meet the 900-hour criteria, the regional vocational schools sometimes have 1,500 or 1,700 hours. They almost double us in some cases. So there's almost a feeling like we're not on the same level playing field. You can rest assured that our students, when they compete, they are on the same par as our counterparts at the regional vocational level.
Mr. Gay is sneaky competitive. I don't know if you know that about him.
Mr. Gay, I have another question. I heard that some students had placed at states last year. Is that true?
Yes.
Do you know who those students were?
Off the top of my head? No.
You better know this.
Congratulations.
I'm a fanatic for Skills. It is a really good program, and I think it needs to be highlighted more.
That's why you're here.
Yes. Any other questions or comments? So I will say there were a number of concerns about expanding our CTE programs as we were beginning to plan for this building. There was a lot of, we've already got the relationship with Tri-County. There's no need to invest more into this building, but I think the testimonials heard tonight, especially coming from 2 programs that would not exist without this building, should prove why we felt so strongly about including this expansion. And even after plans for this building were underway, I think even after construction was underway, Mr. Gay was still finding programs to squeeze into every possible inch of space. And Mr. Domenici talked about the importance of the grant funding. I think it's worth noting the amount of money that we save by bringing these programs to the district rather than sending students out of district has been just as much of a budgetary lifesaver as the grant funding has been. So it's incredible to see all the growth. I also thank all the students for participating. I mean, talk about highly aspirational. Someone wanting to get kids excited to go to the dentist. I don't know that we could be more aspirational than that. The only other question I have, you talked a bit about ATI and the application process, and I'm excited to hear about the demand there. Aside from the unemployed or low employment thresholds, are there any other application criteria in terms of residency requirements or anything like that?
Great question. There are a couple of things that potential candidates have to meet. You just mentioned two, unemployed or underemployed. They have to be a Massachusetts resident and over the age of 18. Those are the basic. We kept it, some programs have higher levels to meet, but ours, at our first go around, we wanted to make sure that we were able to capture a large audience, which we did. And the caliber of students in these programs is very high. And one of the nice things about it is a lot of the other programs that are not competitors, but other schools, they have problem with not, just applications in general, but also completers. And I can report to you that as of right now, we've only lost one student, and that was because he was employed, he is employed, and his boss changed his hours, so he could no longer come. So that was the only reason why. Other than that, we're at 99.9%.
Yeah, it's fantastic to know the starting numbers, but it's even better to hear the finish numbers.
We have to track those two first, Grant, for the next 2 years.
Awesome. And is there any indication as to why our program is drawing so much attention or so much demand compared to other programs in the area?
It could be the building, because all the programs, if you're going to be in a plumbing shop program for 13 weeks, you're going to learn a certain amount. Copper, solder, PVC, that type of thing. But we're offering the employability skill part of it, which I can't speak to if other schools are doing it, but if we're going to, just like with the students behind me, if we're going to train these young people how to earn a living, we have the obligation to teach them how to get the job, keep the job, and what to do with their money once they get their paycheck. That's on us, because if these students are making some incredible sums of money during high school, but then again right after high school, and if we just say, oh, it's your money, do what you want with it. Well, it is their money, but have a plan, have a budget. This is what you should be doing with it as a recommendation. So we're offering that part of it, and I think that I think there's a good response to that because people, they're motivated, they're looking for help, and not just in the trade, how to be a good and valuable employee.
Excellent. Mr. Larson.
Thank you. Where you brought up Tri-County, I think it's important to realize when the planning was going on for this building and to the expand, part of it was to bring programs that we were losing students to other locations for. We wanted to bring them back here. And I think the city did an amazing job in planning for that and then backing up that plan, because over the last 3 or 4 years, while this building is being built and finished and the rest of it, Tri-County basically said at one point 4 years ago, we're not taking any more of your students. We'll let the ones that are here finish, but no more. So those were programs that the students used to have access to, and then all of a sudden weren't going to have access to, and then the city decided that education was an important thing, and we built this building, and the programs are all here through all your hard work collectively. They're all certified, and we didn't miss a beat. So, really worked out amazing.
Thank you, Mr. Larson. Mr. Domenici.
Just one quick question. When is the ATI graduation?
You will be receiving invitations. December 4th or 7th. I think it's the 7th because that date stuck in my head. It's NEASC? Okay.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of dates going on around. So you'll be getting invitations. It'll be in the Bray, and it's going to be, you'll be getting, they should have gone out already, but we were trying to schedule the exact date because we're trying to get people from Commonwealth Corporation, who is the vendor for the grant, to come out. So we were trying to coordinate with them, but you'll know tomorrow.
Thank you. Look forward to it.
Any other questions or comments?
So I had a question about, you said that we had roughly 220 applicants who are on the wait list, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So when the next wave of available slots come out, are they at the top of the list? And then people who apply specifically for that round are after those students, or how does that work out?
Great question. So just like with our daytime CT programs, we took the first round, the top scorers got into the first semester. The next 48 that are waitlisted, they're on target to get the next semester training in January.
Awesome.
Good question.
Mr. Bennett.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would second the general feeling that the CTE program is, in my opinion, the gem of the Attleboro school system, and is something that we should all be extremely proud of. My question is, particularly with this, after this ATI program that's grant funded, are there provisions made for continuing that program when the grant money either dries up, or what is the long-term sustainable model for something like this?
Great question. This grant, we're actually currently in round 9 of this grant, so it's been given out over the last number of years, not 9 years, probably like 5 or 6 years, because they did 2 in 1 year. So we're in round 9. There is no sign that I can see that the funding is going to dry up. So our grant was one of the larger ones. Don't get me wrong, there are some out there that are $2 million because they're offering that many programs over that many semesters. So we're already writing the grant for the next round. Usually the RFP comes out in, I think, January, and we find out in March usually. So we're going to know very soon, number one, if there is funding, which I expect there to be. So as far as the Attleboro Technical Institute, that grant funding should be running for the next 3 to 5 years, as far as I understand.
Thank you.
I was told not to quote anybody on that.
And I'm guessing that part of the reason for the popularity of these programs is, in fact, a new building. And you know that if you're taking an automotive class here, you're not going to be trying to find an 11mm socket because it got lost the other week or whatever. Everything's brand new, in other words, and state of the art. And I know that we are an underfunded school system, and I'm hoping that there's efforts made consistently to ask the people who can help us with the money to make sure that as the machines age, as a state-of-the-art machine in 2020 becomes a 4-year-old machine, then an 8-year-old or a 12-year-old machine, that you guys keep working as hard as you are to make sure that we try to stay current.
We constantly write grants. You'll never usually hear about grants I don't get. You'll hear about the grants I do get. I post them. So we're continually doing that. We're waiting on 2 grants right now that are significant for equipment of the building. So it's,
A piece of the ATI grant included that upkeep and maintenance of the equipment.
Right, because it is more wear and tear on the materials
Yep.
than having more people.
That was one of the first questions I asked you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I think we're on the same page.
And even just as a follow-up, even beyond the grant-funded programs, I think I heard you say we're also looking into tuition-funded programs that could either, if the grant money were to go away, one of these could become tuition-funded, or even expanding some of the other programs to tuition-funded.
there's a lot to the evening programming here. There's a lot of routes we can go. ATI is an easy one because it allows us to run this without cost to the district. So we can figure everything out as we go. Obviously, if we want to have an Attleboro, I call it Attleboro at night, it'll be called something, but people can come in and take a hobby class. They pay a fee to take the class. That's revenue generated for the district. There's also things we can do like in cosmetology. We can actually run that as basically a college program in the evenings. It's a 2-year program, I believe. Ashley could tell me if I'm wrong. But it's usually about a 2-year program for these adults to be licensed cosmetologists at night, and that's a revenue generator as well. So, and that involves like, financial aid and things like that, because it's quite an expense. So there's a lot of things in the works, and this was our dipping our toe in, and we're gonna keep expanding. And, I always tell Mr. Sawyer that it's my goal, relative to evening programs, to have as many people here at night as there are during the day. We'll see if that happens.
Yeah. We're getting every dollar for this building. Any other questions or comments? Excellent. Thank you all again, and congratulations again to the students and teachers.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As everyone is leaving, The next item on the agenda is the superintendent's report, and for that, I will turn it over to Superintendent Sawyer.
Thank you, Chairman. It's hard not to take great pride in what you just witnessed. 15 years ago or so, I was part of an administrative team at the high school that envisioned what we could do with the opportunity that being a comprehensive high school provides to this community, and to see it come to fruition in this moment, and to actually see the expansion of that outside of the school day is just, it's a dream come true, I think, for our students, for the community as a whole. And I just can't say enough that we have a real debt of gratitude to Mr. Gay and his leadership. It really takes expertise to navigate all the obstacles it takes to expand like this. I was at a funeral this weekend, and someone else who happened to be there as well, it turned out, was a school committee member at a local regional Voc school, and when she heard who I was, she beelined over to talk to me a bit, and couldn't say enough about all the things that she's been hearing about what we're doing. And it echoed something that Mr. Gay said, that really in the history of vocational education in Massachusetts, nobody since the original creation of those schools has done anything near what we just did. It's unprecedented, and the fact that our students have answered the call and signed up for these programs. There was a bit of a leap of faith on our part when we built a building that could have so many CTE students, given that wasn't historically the utilization of those programs. But we knew that if we built it, they would come, and it took real leadership to get there. And so Mr. Gay, and certainly with the help of Ms. Montagano and the support of Principal Campbell, has really delivered on that, and we should all be thankful. I have a couple brief updates for the committee this evening. No school tomorrow, as I'm sure you're aware. As you know, we plan for tomorrow to be a PD day because we have 3 of our schools being used as polling locations, Coelho, Studley, and AHS. So we are fully prepared for what will likely be a pretty busy day at the polls. So all the accommodations have been made, those schools are ready, and I'm glad that this is one of those days that we don't try to do both polling and school on the same day. I think that would be a problem. So for parents that are wondering why, that's the bargain that we've made. So it is, while it's not school, it is a day of work in the district. We are doing professional development. Educators will be following through on the things they began earlier in the year. And it's an important moment for us to circle back at now that the year has gotten underway, and to take the next step in our educators' own professional development. I also wanted to remind everyone that the last strategic planning focus group is scheduled for this week. It's Wednesday night at 6 o'clock at Brennan. What have we had, 4 already?
Yes.
Yeah, so we've completed 4, and this will be the 5th, and we will summarize our findings to the committee when that's done. I don't want to do that tonight because we don't want to pollute the experience on Wednesday. We want people to come in with a fresh set of ideas. So we'll give you the full update then, but I did want to remind the community that one more chance to come and participate and give us some feedback on where we're headed with our strategic planning. So that'll be Wednesday. And then my final update this evening is that, it's November, which means that we are beginning our budget process in developing our level service estimate in anticipation of our December presentation in accordance with school committee policy. So that's begun in earnest. It's an important part of that process, and it takes us some time to build that estimate. So Mr. Furtado and his team are hard at work. I wanted to mention this to the committee because last year we did the joint meeting with the municipal council from the administration's perspective. That was a productive moment, and so wanted to remind the committee that perhaps that's a thing we'd like to do again, but certainly it's your decision whether or not we take that step or not. But we're beginning that, and we'll be ready in December to present our budget priorities to the committee.
I mean, I know personally, and it seemed from unofficial feedback from folks that that meeting was very productive with the city council. Does the committee feel like that would be helpful to repeat, Mr. Larson?
Yes. No, and not to be that short and blunt, if you listen to the city council, you know, there's always questions that they have about what we do. And I've always been in the camp of, hey, we're all Attleboro. Ask. We'll tell you. We'll show you. You know, we'll answer your questions. It's not, you know, I hate this mentality that some folks in the city have about, oh, you know, they're doing things and they're not telling us, and the rest of it's like, no, we are an open book, folks. It's like, so let's have the meeting. I don't want to have to listen to it after the fact of, hey, you guys didn't tell us this, that, and the other. And it's like, look, the only reason you didn't find out is you didn't come and you didn't listen.
Any other thoughts? Ms. Johnson?
Just wanted to echo Mr. Larson's thoughts there. We're one city, we're multiple departments, and I think it's best when we come together and have those open communications. So I would definitely be in favor of a joint meeting.
Yeah, and I think as one of many departments, being the largest department, it's that much more critical. Mr. Bennett?
Yeah, just quick, thank you. I did come to that meeting last year as a constituent, just as a, you know, before I was on the school committee, and I thought it was extremely eye-opening to see the real meat behind the numbers and how we compare with our other schools. So I think that, you know, for folks watching, not that we ever have a line waiting to get into school committee meetings, but if there's a school committee meeting you were interested in coming to, that one, if we proceed as it sounds like we're going to with a joint meeting, it's a worthwhile use of a couple hours of your night.
So that would be December 9th, correct? Or would that be a separate meeting from?
That would be the regular scheduled meeting.
Okay. So we'll discuss that further.
That's good.
Thank you.
And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Two quick items I just wanted to follow up on. A couple of weeks ago, middle school parents got a notification via the app that middle school students were going forward need to be supervised or joined by family members at athletic events. And I know that the behavior at high school athletic events has been a concern for a number of years now, but especially so far this year. So I didn't know if there's been any notable difference since that has gone into place, or how things may have changed.
It's my impression that it's been a positive impact, but we can ask Ms. Campbell herself.
Come on up, Ms. Campbell.
Thank you, Superintendent Sawyer. So I appreciate Chairman Geddes, you reaching out and asking this question. It has been really nice to see the cooperation and the collaboration between the families and the event. So what we did was we did reach out to all of our districts in the Hockomock to see what other districts were doing, and we paralleled many of our colleague schools for doing the same thing of requesting that students, for safety reasons, are supervised by a parent when they come to high school events. So there was some questioning that I did receive, some clarification, but overall it's been a very positive new addition to these events. And the people who I have heard from are people who are attending the events and saying it's been really nice to just know that everybody's accounted for safety reasons. So I have gotten feedback from community members at events and saying thank you. It's noticeable. And the parents have been very respectful and collaborative. Awesome. So we appreciate everybody working together on this.
Thank you. And Mr. Domenici?
Well, as somebody who attends all the high school football games, as a parent of a marching band student, there's also a lot of representation by high school and middle school administrators at the games as well. So the kids are seeing familiar faces, and I think that also has had an impact. So the combination of the two, I think, has really been helpful.
Thank you. Any other questions or thoughts? Thanks, Ms. Campbell.
Sure.
The other question I had, I know a notice went out to to the entire district on behalf of the city related to the water. I can't even call it a concern anymore at this point, the water crisis we're experiencing. I know that on social media, there have been questions in the past about water usage within the schools as it relates to fields and everything like that, and I'm willing to bet that we are probably the largest bill-paying organization for the water department in the city. So is there anything the schools are doing to conserve or further conserve water?
I'll ask Mr. Furtado to come up and join me for this one, but generally speaking, what we're doing is all the things that we do as a matter of course. Saving water, because it is such a big bill, is a major concern. This building, to get LEED certification, had to take significant steps that made it a much better building for water usage than the old building did. And we've been talking to the city about, what we could possibly do to, be a good partner in this situation. The short answer is that there isn't a lot because we're already doing everything, but we remain open to suggestions from the city, and that communication remains open. But Mr. Furtado can kind of get into the details of how we're well positioned in this moment.
So as the superintendent's pointing out, this building in particular, everything is low volume, sinks, toilets, anything we use internally for water that comes from the city water supply is all low volume. Anything seen outside, fields, irrigation of any type, is through well water and or the water we capture from when it does rain off of our roofs. So we have huge tanks under the parking lots here. You may recall that in the construction process. So we do not use city water for any outside use whatsoever. At our other buildings, we have always replaced fixtures with low volume fixtures whenever they go out. We still are not completely free of original hardware installations in our bathrooms, but where we have replaced things, we replace things with, again, low volume items. And that's just a matter of course. That's what we do. That's kind of the full extent of what we're capable of having control over in terms of water use.
Any questions? Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Furtado. Did you say that concluded the report? All right. Well, actually, any other questions?
That was your question.
Yeah. Any other questions for the superintendent? All right. Before you walk away, Mr. Furtado, I know you passed around the MOU with the city as it relates to Willett Field. Did you need a vote on that tonight?
We do, and I just wanted to remind the committee that process outlined in that MOU is a reflection of current practice. There's nothing new in there. This was requested because the city received a grant, and either the grant required or the city felt better if there were actually written specifications to the agreement as it exists today. So there's no change in practice. It simply codifies what we're doing and makes the folks who either supplied the grant or applied for the grant feel better about exercising the grant.
All right, so in that case, I'm actually going to entertain a motion to amend tonight's agenda to include a motion for entering into a memorandum of understanding with the City of Attleboro and the Attleboro Public Schools for maintenance of Willett Elementary School's field.
So moved.
Second.
All right, and I'll actually do a roll call on this. So I'll start with Ms. Sawyer.
Yes.
Mr. Frappier?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Domenici?
Yes.
Mr. Geddes, yes. Mr. Larson?
Yes.
Ms. Porto?
Yes.
Mr. Bennett?
Yes.
All right, so now that we have amended the agenda, I will go ahead and entertain a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding between the Attleboro Public Schools and the City of Attleboro as it relates to the maintenance of Willett Elementary School field as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All right. Does anybody have any questions or concerns? Representative Lennox?
So I was given one of these papers. I just want to clarify whether or not I'm also supposed to sign off on this. Because I know.
No, you're good.
Perfect. Just want to make sure.
You just got the extra copy.
Sounds good.
Mr. Bennett?
Yeah, this was sort of alluded to at a facilities committee meeting a couple of weeks ago, and what I would like to, in general, this is fine, right? It's very, very straightforward, because it sort of alludes to by saying public uses shall include community events and Attleboro School Department uses that occur outside of regular school hours. If I had my druthers on this, I would like some language in there that says something to the effect that the Attleboro School, it's been consistent practice for the Attleboro School Department to use these fields during normal school hours, and nothing here should be read at, I'm not a lawyer, I don't know, I didn't stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night either, but nothing should be in here to say that that the schools won't be able to continue to utilize that field during normal school hours as we have traditionally in the past. It's not really a time to wordsmith this memorandum of understanding, but it is a concern that I have, that I don't want to find out down the road that there's a problem with the schools using these fields, for recess or field days or whatever other things it does with that field during school hours.
Do we think it's worth following up with the city?
I'll just point out that the city does not schedule a field during school hours.
It's not at all. It's not available to be scheduled if someone calls the recreation department and
Wants to have a soccer tournament.
already reserved for the schools during the days, all the time.
Monday through Friday, yeah.
So I guess what I was hearing from your concern, Mr. Bennett, if that addresses it, I agree, that's explicitly stated, but it sounded more like your concern was that there's nothing in there that the schools have exclusive rights during that time.
That's correct. I don't see, there, it's alluded to, right? Because it says, public uses shall include outside of regular school hours, right? But I just want to throw it out there that I would like personally to see something else in there.
Mr. Frapp?
Just a question. I have not been over there during a recess period. It's my understanding, though, that they have their own playground, their own blacktop, their own field that isn't the public field. So the exclusion to not use it during the school day would just be, the school's not using it, but no one's using it. Monday through Friday, 9 to 4, whatever we want to call it.
So during recess, I think this is in reference to the large field, not
right.
So there's no other field that.
Are the kids even down there on the large field? Because it does have its own. We have our own schoolyard, our own property. I'm just curious. Are there actually kids running? Because that's pretty far from the building. I think it'd be hard to manage any amount of kids without a fence, without in that big area. This is more of a general question than a.
Yeah, no,
They have used it.
Yeah, as the chairman pointed out, they have field days and where they do use it, but it's not a regular thing.
Thank you.
Any other thoughts? Do you think in your discussions with the city they would be uncomfortable with adding anything about exclusive during the school hours?
I wouldn't imagine. Again, it was meant to codify existing practice, so I don't think there'd be any problem with doing that.
Okay.
We can table it till next time and request a rewrite.
Okay. So we'll table that and add it to the agenda for our November 18th meeting as old business. Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Larson, sorry.
I know this is somebody somewhere just crossing Ts and dotting some Is because, it's something we've been doing since we've all been really small. But is there a timetable involved? If we were to put this off for a couple weeks, somebody's doing this for a reason.
Yes,
I guess I don't want to, for the sake of one more sentence in there, I don't want to mess up some other timetable that we're not aware of.
I don't think they're going to be doing the work at this point. I think it's been sort of crossed into the frost time of year, and that's not a time to be doing grounds work. I think they're going to do this, but first chance in the spring.
Okay, so putting this off for a couple weeks isn't going to.
No.
Okay, thank you.
If I'm If I remember correctly, we had hoped to discuss this at the last meeting, but because it wasn't too urgent and it wasn't ready, it was fine to even delay till tonight, so, okay. Perfect. Any other questions or thoughts regarding the Willett MOU? All right, so we'll see you in a couple weeks on that.
Just as a point of driving me crazy. We have a motion on the table that we've just approved to add something to the agenda. I think we should have some sort of a motion that we're going to table this.
Oh,
vote on that.
thank you, sorry.
Just because otherwise we're just leaving it open.
Yep. So I'll entertain a motion to table the MOU between the Attleboro Public Schools and the City of Attleboro as it relates to the Willett Elementary School field.
So moved.
Second.
Multiple so moved. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you for indulging me.
All right. So next up on the agenda is our consent agenda. There are 5 items tonight. I will entertain a motion for all 5 unless anyone sees reason to do otherwise. All right. So a motion to send to the municipal council for approval a prior year invoice in the amount of $298.82. Motion to accept a $3,000 donation from the Attleboro Elks, with $2,000 going to the Unified Basketball sub-account and $1,000 being used to assist with athletics fees for students with financial difficulties. Motion to accept an anonymous donation in the amount of $50 going toward the lunch balance of students with financial difficulties. Motion to accept a contractual obligation in the amount of $28.80 from Bay State Textiles to Hill Roberts. And motion to accept a contractual obligation in the amount of $38 from Planet Aid as broken down in the check receipt dated October 18th, 2024 to Wamsutta Middle School.
So moved.
All right. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is open forum. Is there anyone here that would like to address the committee as part of open forum? Seeing none, I will close open forum. As far as upcoming events, we have a meeting of the Finance and Budget Subcommittee here on Wednesday, November 6th at 6:30 p.m. Mr. Sawyer also referenced the strategic planning focus group that's happening at Brennan the same day at 6 p.m., correct? There is also, as Mr. Sawyer mentioned, no school tomorrow for the election and no school on November 11th for Veterans Day. There's also a half day this Friday, November 8th, and elementary schools have a half day this Thursday, November 7th for parent-teacher conferences. And then Thursday night at 6 p.m. is Blue Pride night?
Yes.
Thank you. I wanted to confirm the time. 6 p.m. Thursday night for Blue Pride night. Any other updates, Mr. Frappier?
The half-day Friday you mentioned, what school is that specifically for?
That's district-wide, correct?
It's not on the calendar for
Oh,
the
no,
8th.
it's not? Oh, I thought we had district-wide for the long weekend.
There's the elementary level has a half day on the 7th for conferences, for elementary conferences. There's a full day on Friday.
It is a full day on Friday. I apologize. I was thinking it was another PD half day with the long weekend, so thank you for correcting me.
Sorry, it is worth mentioning, though, that the Wednesday, the 27th, is a full vacation day, which I think not everyone's used to or might recall.
Yeah.
That the Wednesday before is no school.
I was planning to mention
sorry,
that at the
Rhonda.
next meeting. Because our next meeting is Monday, the 18th, here at 6:30 p.m. Any other updates for the committee? All right, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Have a great night.